Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It is Binky and today we are looking at Aesop again, but this one is Rozu. So the lighting's a little bit different. It's getting dark, it's rainy, that time of year. So doing a little bit different things. It may look horrible, it may look better. Usually it's natural lighting. Who knows? We'll see in editing. So we're looking at Rozu today, and this is actually one that I own. And you can see that I've used quite a bit of it. I own Rozu and Aesop. These are the two that I really like. The other ones my friend owns because he works at the company, and so he graciously has let me use these scents. So this will cost you $200 at this time for 1.6 fluid ounces. Some of them have different price tags depending. So fragrance, a tender intensity, unmistakably rose, yet nuanced and expansive with vibrant shiso accords, wood, spice, earth, and light smoke. So the aroma is floral, green, woody, suited to all genders, pioneers, modernists, and nomads. Yeah, sometimes you can call me that. So the key ingredients are rose, shiso, and guaiac wood. So I actually don't know shiso. Very interesting. I don't know that note. But the top notes are rose, pink pepper, shiso. Middle notes are rose, guaiac wood, jasmine. And the base notes are vetiver, patchouli, and myrrh. Very interesting, because normally I'm not a huge fan of vetiver or patchouli. It depends. If they're done well in a fragrance, then I don't mind them. But sometimes I just feel like vetiver and patchouli can, and even myrrh to an extent, can overtake a fragrance. But we already know I like this one, so it's not that big of, it doesn't bug me here. But very interesting to go with the delicate of the rose, and the guaiac wood and the jasmine, and then adding these big, strong scents like vetiver, patchouli, myrrh. I think that's what I liked about Aesop as well, is just the playfulness of notes that you don't necessarily expect. I kind of like that. So I know what this smells like. Oh, so good. Rozu is so good. What's interesting is I've worn it a lot, but I never really thought about the notes. I'm just like, yay, I like this. So let's like it again. So, whew. I know this scent as Rozu. My cat is flipping out. That's what that noise is. So, is it shiso? I don't know what that note is. And so, I mean, immediately what comes out for me is rose and vetiver. I know rose or vetiver is the base, but it comes out immediately for me. I think my nose just pulls it out. That shiso, I don't know what it is. I'll put to the bottom what it is. I don't know everything out there. So that one's new to me. But I definitely get that vetiver and I get that rose immediately. And it's interesting, because I always just kind of saw this as a floral scent, because the rose is so prominent. It's actually interesting to dissect this one a little bit just because I've worn it for so long. But you definitely get, for me, that vetiver. I have a nose for vetiver. I could pull it out like that. That and cumin, I'm just like, I know. So we get that vetiver, but that rose really overtakes it. Because it was that sharpness, not the sharpness, but the brightness of the vetiver, and then that rose just has quelled it a bit, which is what makes this one interesting. Chemistry is going to play big on this one because my friend, floral smells so good on him, specifically rose. Like every time he wears this, people will go, oh, what are you wearing? Because it smells so good on him. His chemistry just morphs florals, especially rose, into something glorious. So if you're one of those people, this one may be for you. Always get a sample, as I say, but you may want to check this one out because this plays really nicely on people whose chemistry loves floral, specifically rose. So it's just so gorgeous on him. It smells so different on me than him. But definitely getting that spiciness of the pink pepper too, or pepper just in general. So it's that spiciness of it coming through. But let's try it on the skin. Interesting. There's the rose coming through, and it looks like the shiso, looking it up, I hope I'm saying that correctly, is kind of like perilla or porilla is how I say it, but I don't know how I guess I should look it up. But there's the spiciness to it. So it's this green citrusy scent. It's part of the mint family. So it has a little bit of that greenery coming through, a little bit of that spiciness with the rose coming through, and then a little bit of vetiver that I'm picking up. It's interesting because I almost feel like I'm getting cumin from this, just a little bit, not a lot. I feel like there's musk in there just because my body picks up musk so easily. I feel like there's a drop of it in there, but it's not on the ingredient list. So I don't know, but I'm sensing that a little bit. But let's try it on the shirt. Oh wow, on the shirt it's very spicy. It's very green and spicy with a little hint of rose. I'm not getting that jasmine, but it's really that spicy greenery. Just spicy greens, like you've cut stems of a spicy plant and you're smelling that spicy greenery, with a little hint of rose. Very interesting. I never really thought about this scent. I would just wear it, and I assumed, hey, it's a floral scent because it's Aesop's floral scent. But it really isn't your standard floral at this point. I know later on the rose comes through a little bit more than it initially does. So I kind of know this from experience, but it's very different when you sit there and actually think about a fragrance. I wear this all the time. Or, I haven't yet this year. I tend to wear it in fall. But I wear this a lot, and I never really thought about it. It's like, oh, okay, I'm getting this now. So very interesting. I know this one's going to morph a lot, though. But right now it's that green spiciness. Green spicy stems with a little floral coming through in vetiver, just trying to go hello a little bit. So interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check back an hour because I know this one morphs. And we'll see where it goes now that I'm actually paying attention to it and breaking it down, because it just takes it to a whole different level. Kind of interesting. See you soon. Okay, so it has been an hour, and I know I'm seated really strange, but my cat is sleeping here and I can't do it. I just can't move her. She's so happy. So it's been an hour, and I could definitely still smell Rozu. Now, this isn't a scent that necessarily is like very strong. It is at first initially, but then it kind of settles down really nicely where it just stays in a really nice pocket, like around here. So after about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, it's really going to calm quite a bit. But let's try it on the chemistry. That's really interesting. I know it doesn't show that there's any musk notes, but I almost want to argue that because my body really pulls out musk, and I can smell it. I can smell something musky. Yeah, I can smell like a musky scent with a little bit of cumin. Very interesting because it does not have that on the list. So I don't know if it is the shiso that's pulling that way. But that's almost what's overtaking it, is it's almost like a musky cumin. And so I know my chemistry is so strange. When I wear this, I tend to put it on my clothing, not on my skin as much, because I do tend to wear this in the fall and winter, so I don't have as much skin exposed. So I tend to put it on my clothing. So it's interesting smelling it this way. My chemistry is strange. It really is, but there is no cumin and there is no musk, it says. But it depends on the site that you look at, because Aesop site says one thing, and then if you go to other ones, they do say there's musk in it, but I don't know. I'm going to go off Aesop site, and it says no. But this is my chemistry. But let's try it on the clothing. Okay, interesting. So I'm getting a little bit of the rose, but it's also that, I think it's the shiso. I really do. I'm not as familiar with that scent, and it's very interesting. It's like a leafy, green leafy spiciness to it. Yeah, let's try it again. So it's vetiver, definitely getting that vetiver and that spiciness of like a green stem being snapped, but a spicy green stem with a little bit of rose on top of it. It's so interesting how this plays out on chemistry because it's just so different on my friend. Like his pulls out straight like rose, but a morphed rose. That is so good. It is the most beautiful floral scent. It's just his chemistry. Like I'm not getting that at all. No, I'm not getting, I wish I was. So it smells so beautiful on him. And I mean, it doesn't smell like the same Rozu. So that's why chemistry is really important. So if you know, depending on what pulls out on your chemistry, it's always great to watch a lot of people and see if anyone is like you. But nobody is like you fully, but you know, who does pull out certain notes similar to you. But as far as even clothing, I'm not getting that rose. So I think that's purely chemistry with him. Interesting. Now it's been an hour, so it's probably going to morph some more. It does smell quite nice, fresh, beautiful, spicy green. But that's why with the Rozu, I don't get as much. I get little whiffs of it, but that's not the main component. But interestingly enough, when I move around, it mixes together to create a little bit of a kick of that rose with the spicy greenery. Very interesting. A little bit of vetiver too, just a ding. Very interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check back in 4 hours. Oh, maybe this little one will let me sit in my normal spot. But she kind of rolls the house along with her sister. So there you go. I will see you in 4 hours. Okay, so it has been 5 hours in total and we made it. This is the Rozu that I know. So I'm smelling it finally. It's so interesting, like I said, taking a step back from a fragrance that you know well and actually analyzing it instead of going, I like this scent. And that's usually, you know, a lot of the time what I do. It's just since this channel, I've started doing this more often now. I really analyze things more. It's so interesting. So it's not just, I enjoy it. Let's pull it apart. But this is the scent that I know. And that rose is coming through more. So it takes a while. At first, you know, the first actually hour, maybe 2 hours, it really does have that green spicy scent to it. So it's interesting that it takes the base notes to finally come out. And the thing is, rose wasn't even in the base notes. Very interesting. But let's try it on the chemistry. It's actually very light on the chemistry, so I get that rose, but I still get that spiciness coming up, so a little bit of that peppery. And I think there's pepper in this one, so there's that spicy peppery scent, green scent. Still get a little bit of that, but definitely getting the rose from it. But that spiciness really comes through. So interesting little mix going on there, but let's try it on the clothing. Okay, still getting that spiciness. Again, that peppery green spiciness. Like green, you know, somebody's breaking stems and there's a spiciness. I think that's the pepper coming through as well. And then you also get that rose. What's interesting is you get the spiciness, but when you move the rose, you get that spice, but the rose kind of like a rose petal on the wind floats above. So that's kind of what I'm getting at this point. Very pretty. This is the Rozu that I know that's more of that rose coming through. But when you put your nose against it, like the wrist or the clothing, it's so light that the other notes are so heavy that it gets lost. But when you're actually wearing it, they're there. The rose is there. It's such a strange little scent. Yeah, so I think here's the thing that I've been thinking with Aesop a bit in their fragrances. I really feel like their older scents just, I don't know, there's a complexity to them that I really love. Even if it may not be my type of perfume that I necessarily would gravitate towards, I feel like the newer releases have lost a little of that complexity. And I love this. I love the fact that there's notes put together with the older ones that have a little bit of a twist to them, and that's what I enjoy about Rozu. I wish on me that it did come forward with a little bit more of that rose, because I actually really like rose. I'm one of the only people I know, for some reason a lot of people don't like it. When I was a little girl, rose and honeysuckle were my thing, so I love honeysuckle still. And rose I still really love, not as much as I did. Like when I was 5, it was everything. So it's a happy childhood memory. I don't know why I was in love with it. Nobody else in my family was. I liked it. The heart wants what the heart wants. And so basically, I love those rose scents, so I wouldn't have minded if a little bit more came through. But again, that's going to be our chemistry, because I've smelled this on my friend. And like I said, if you could smell it on him, when they invent smell-o-vision, I'm going to have him stand here so everybody can smell it. Because his body, when it comes to florals and specifically rose, just morph into something fantastic. Like, I want that body chemistry. Instead, I get musks and cumin. Yay. Yeah. So there you go. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. There's other ones that come through on me as well, but I really love that rose. But you can definitely get it. It's just a very light whiff with a little bit of spiciness. This one's very interesting. So if we were going to pull this one apart, I tend to wear this one in fall. I also wear it in winter. I know it may be a little bit light for winter, but that spiciness I kind of like for that. I can see this at the end of summer. I can see this in summer, but for some reason, most probably I'd put it summer and fall. I like it in winter. I don't know why. I have no clue, but it's my thing. So you wear what you want when you want. And again, these are all gender neutral, but if I were going to put this into a category, I think most people would see this Rozu as being more feminine. Those floral notes always tend to lean that way. But my friend wears it all the time and he smells amazing with it on. So yes, it does lean more floral, specifically rose on him, but it smells so good. So that's what I say. You wear what you want, when you want, because it's fantastic. And he does it a lot for work. He'll try on the different scents just so customers can smell it on him. But he likes it anyway. It's just a great scent. So wear what you want, when you want. So if I were going to give this a score, oh, Rozu, where would I put you? So I do love this one, but if I were going to rank it, I think I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. And I know everybody's like, what? You own a bottle. I do. And I love it. It's interesting though, when I pulled it apart, I realized that like the first couple hours, it's very spicy green and peppery. And I wanted that rose faster. And it took a couple hours to get there. And I know this scent. I'm like, oh yeah. There's the rose spicy scent that I like. It's like a spicy green rose scent. I love it. And I'm like, this is what I want. But it takes a couple hours to get there. And now that I actually broke it apart, I'm kind of like, oh. So, I know. I still love it. I'm not sad that I have a bottle at all. I love it. But I think I just wish it would go to the rose a little bit more. And also the jasmine never really came through for me. And I'm a big fan of jasmine. It just never came through. So maybe it's just very light in the scent. Or maybe my chemistry betrayed me again. You never know. But this is a beautiful, beautiful scent. And there are Aesops in many countries and things. So you can go check it out and get some samples or try it on. See how you feel about it. And I say to do that with every single scent out there. But on this one shows me how big chemistry plays a part in things. It really does. Yeah. So we move on to the next one. We're actually moving through this one pretty quickly. And until next time, have a fabulous day, my friends. Bye.